That was odd. Are we live? Are we live?
We're live.
That was a
really?
psychedelic spin you put on that.
Are we really?
Oh,
Have you never done that? If you have your pre-recorded stuff and you drag the little bar to the left, it does it in reverse.
All right, guys.
And it's sped up.
Obviously, this is episode 2.
Yep.
2.
And we're doing an
episode
80s rerun tonight.
Post
February
show.
8th. Beware the Ides of February coming up, where we have Valentine's.
The Ides of March.
What?
Valentine's only applies if you have a couple, and I'm single. So
Well, you've got your hand.
We have set a high bar in the past for Valentine's Day.
Well, we're watching the Super Bowl for this Valentine's.
How-
Can't get any higher than that.
That's true. But in
is
the
Valentine's
past,
Day on the Super Bowl?
No,
Yes.
it is not.
It-
It
no,
is not.
Valentine's Day
Are you
on
kidding
Monday.
me?
It's
Is
on
it
Monday.
really?
No, it's on Monday.
Isn't the 14th Sunday?
I thought the 14th was Monday. Hold up.
Pull out the calendar.
Pulling out
so
the
what
calendar.
have we done in the past? We went to a very expensive restaurant.
It's Monday.
That
Oh,
didn't
it's
go
Monday.
well. That
It's
had
Monday.
some drama.
Well, we
Correct.
have gone...
Drama? What drama?
Well, no.
We had some drama at the expensive
was-
restaurant.
You know
What?
what?
Fogo de Chao?
I'm going to blame Shelly. I'm going to blame your wife.
No, you are
Yeah,
not.
I am.
I don't think we had any drama, did we?
That wasn't Fogo de Chao.
I
that we
was the
went to.
waiter. Yes,
Well-
there were drama.
That was Fogo de Chao. They're at the
You know,
Shops of Legacy.
here's my take on it. Okay, I want to go out to eat at a nice place, and we elected to go to Fogo de Chao, and we elected to go as a group. And
Something happened.
Shelly
No,
was-
Shelly didn't happen.
unhappy of the selections and the cost of things.
No, I don't recall it that way.
I-
I remember the service being very, very poor.
Okay,
But I don't remember, to be honest.
I do.
And you're
She was not
saying
very pleased with the
I
selection.
had a lot
selection,
of meat.
like meaning the
The
meat that
meat.
came around was not good.
Well, she was just
That,
in
that,
general.
that doesn't seem plausible because generally the
Really?
meat is amazing.
Are you kidding me?
It was
got
not
those
as it was
places.
not as good
She
that night.
did not want to spend the money at Fogo de
Ah.
Chao.
Well, I
Is-
don't know, but
Is my take from that whole experience that
No,
night.
But I will have to
tell you
say-
there was more to it.
I will have to say that Fogo de Chao was poor compared to the other ones I've been to.
I've definitely had better
That experience,
service.
I was disappointed that night
However,
in the quality.
I was extremely full.
yeah, but
Of what?
you can eat out of a dumpster and you'd be happy.
This is true.
All right.
that was a really harsh slam.
Yeah.
I'm
You could
sorry.
eat- you could eat
that was
dirt.
harsher
No
coming
wonder
out
your
than I
immune
thought.
Well,
system's so great.
Actually, and it was extremely accurate. But this particular night, it wasn't accurate. I mean, I'm a seasoned Fogo de Chao eater.
Are you?
Oh.
Yeah,
You
He
thought
goes there
that was
every
as
week.
good quality as it normally is?
It's not.
Is
a
that where you
matter-
are every Sunday night?
It's not a matter of
Do
quality.
you have a meal plan?
It's a matter of knowing when to say no.
Well,
That's
we could have
impossible.
gone to the
When
Golden
they
Corral.
come
that
by
is impossible.
And they have a bacon wrapped chicken. You just need to say, I'm going to pass. And you just wait
With a lisp?
for...
The picanha.
You can
but
have
that's
a
when
lisp
they
or
walk
not the
past
lisp.
you.
Whatever works.
well, you
for-
had a lisp on that.
Well,
one.
that's because he was wearing this Turkish outfit, and I was just like,
That's Brazilian.
"Sir, would you like?"
This is not a Mediterranean
Yeah,
chop
it's
house
Brazilian.
No, this is all right. It was a Brazilian outfit.
with a lisp.
It was close.
Sir, would you like some of this
Just across
chicken,
the
bacon wrapped
oceans.
chicken? I was like, nah, I'm gonna pass on the chicken. Hey, you got any beef? What was I asking? I was asking for beef ribs. And
I've never seen
they were
ribs
challenged.
I've never seen ribs.
They've never had ribs.
You have to ask.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
It's
I
a
don't think
secret
you.
menu.
I think I'm gonna call BS on the Fogo de
No.
No,
Chao
he goes there. He goes
meal
there every
plan
week.
frequenter.
He goes
No.
there every week, and he knows the
No.
secret menu,
No.
I don't care for
Just
the.
like In-N-Out Burger.
just like
Yeah,
In-N-Out
secret
Burger.
Yeah, you can say I want the California up my butt.
I
And
want a
that gets you-
protein style
Whoa,
and
whoa,
that
animal
gets you
style.
extra
What kind
chilies.
of pedophile place is this?
Well, that's California.
It's California for you.
Exactly.
California.
Yeah,
Me.
and you get
California.
extra chilies, and
No,
you
my
get
point
cheese on one
is
half of it,
when you
An
go to-
extra
and you get a
crispy.
mushroom in between the two
drop
patties.
$100
What the hell is that
over
anyway?
$100 on food.
Don't worry about it.
For the buffet at Fogo de Chao. You need to be selective on what you eat because, first of all, they have a fantastic buffet.
Buffet.
But it's green and
I feel like you.
salads.
I feel like you
But
look at a buffet
it's-
and always
but
think
they
it's
have rice.
More
fantastic.
than that, they've got pastas, they've got
And
You
they
don't
have
eat
rice.
pasta. You don't
Rice
want any
and
of the
bread.
pasta.
Well, look,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
They
getting
try to
at,
fill
but
you up.
They
And
have asparagus
zucchini.
spears that are the size of frickin' palm trees. I mean, they've got
You skip all
they've
that.
got sliced salmon.
You stay away from
the-
chicken. I stay
the-
away from the bar,
Well, I mean, I hit it all. It's a full.
I stay away from the
experience.
buffet.
except for the chicken.
And I tell you, I
Tip of the bourbon.
I
Yeah.
ask for all the greatest stuff too. I say, hey man,
I tell you what, the best fogo.
but you're right though. I'm gonna cut you off there. You're right though. They did shaft me the last couple times I've been to the Brazilian cook place
Churrascaria.
regarding the beef ribs, because usually
Mhm.
it's been my experience that you just gotta ask for it and they'll deliver it to the table. And the last couple times I've gone, they were like, sorry, sir, but tonight these beef ribs are unavailable. I was like, really?
Is that your Brazilian accent?
I don't know what that was.
Speaking of beef
was
ribs,
kinda
you
weird.
know
How do
what goes
Brazilians
with
talk?
beef ribs?
How do they talk? Excuse me, sir. Well, hold on. This is Brazilian, not Turkish.
Yeah.
That was a. I
They
don't
do
know.
not speak Spanish
What's
either.
a Brazilian accent?
It's like you got to take a shit and you are impatient. So it's like, I would like for you to try.
No, that
some of
sounds like the guy from Star
this."
Wars.
Yeah.
That sounds like the guy from Star
What
Wars.
guy from
does.
Star Wars sounds like
Oh,
that?
really?
It does.
Oh, the flying
Oh,
little
the
dude.
flying
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Look at you, little Annie.
leave that up, man? That looks so antagonizing,
man.
Like a moth to a flame, my soul does a desire.
He got-
asking for ribs.
He got busted because
this
it was racist against Jewish people.
Was
So-
it really?
He got in trouble for that, yeah.
Get the
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
out of here.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the two idiots where the storm blaster doors closed and the Jedis had to cut through? And
No, that
Jedi
was
mind
he was
don't
making
work
fun of
on
the
me.
Asians.
The Asians.
Yeah,
He got in
they
trouble
got
for
the
that.
Federalists.
They got
See, the
torn up for
Federalists
that.
were like, what do we mean? We have a Jedi here.
Yeah.
What?
How is that possible?
That's exactly what they sounded like, though. Like that is like not a joke.
We
That
do
is
not
exactly what they
understand the
sounded like.
power of the Force.
That is exactly what they sounded like. You,
Yeah,
you
but-
cannot.
yeah, but they
prove
sounded
me
like-
wrong.
Yeah, that's fuck. Whoa, I don't think they had that.
Yeah.
on the
That was
pod.
from Home
That-
Alone.
No, that was Christmas
That
Story.
Yeah,
was
no, that's
racist.
Home Alone.
That was 100% racist.
No, because that was actual Chinese people singing.
We too low.
Something wrong.
Right.
Something.
Something wrong.
Way
Something
too
wrong.
low.
Ouch D bang.
And you also have Jar Jar Binks.
Ouch D bang.
Now, Jar Jar Binks was something else. Man.
He ruined.
I don't think he
Star
ruined
Wars
it.
for
me.
I
He
don't
ruined it.
think he ruined
He
it.
ruined it.
didn't ruin Star Wars.
Wow,
that
that was
ruined.
good. That was really good.
Do it again.
What?
You're like a party
Do
favorite.
Jar
Do
Jar
it.
Binks.
Um,
Come on, do it.
Lisa don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, don't do that again because it ruined Star Wars for me.
It does.
Yeah.
fuck you too.
Star Wars
Now,
porn.
that I would
So-
have been okay with.
You kind of sound like Gollum there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but look, the Star Wars has a lot of different things going on. I mean, there are so many. Star Wars has blossomed, and even like on the newest, latest episodes of like Boba Fett that just came out. I mean, they are elaborating on. So
Who was on the-
Luke
what is
has guilt over. I won't
Don't
say
ruin
guilt,
it.
but he had a relationship
whoa,
with
Don't
Yoda.
ruin it for
whoa.
me.
What I'm
Spoilers.
saying has nothing to do with any spoilers.
Hey, but
So,
theoretical spoilers.
What I'm saying is
spoilers.
that
I think
Luke
he is
drunk.
has
You don't know.
this relationship with all the Yoda folk, you know? So he's trying to he's
Yeah.
training Yoda basically.
Well, I tell you what, I
the
had
baby Yoda.
It's
I-
taking
my Star Wars boner kind of happened when Cad Bane made the appearance.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was about to say.
Hold on. When what happened?
Cad Bane. Do
Cad
you know who
Bane.
that is?
No, see, don't spoil any of this stuff for me.
You need to watch.
That's
You need to
actually, no,
watch
that
Clone
is a-
Wars.
that
Shit,
is a
well, first
spoiler.
off, don't I need to get Disney Plus to do all
dude,
this?
Cad Disney I guess
Cad Bane's
so.
a badass.
Cad Bane is like
How do I watch this
the
on
good,
Disney
the
Plus?
bad,
Right?
the ugly.
He's
This
like a
is
cowboy.
this is Cad Bane.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Well, hold on. Do I need to get Disney Plus to get all this stuff?
Well,
Or there's other ways.
Or
you can sell yourself.
Yarg, you can be the pirate of the seven seas and surf the World Wide Web.
What the hell just happened?
Well, did you hear
How
our
much
producer?
did you have during the
He
intermission?
was like, "Hey, Captain,
Yarg, I'm telling you,
Right.
you have to surf the World Wide Web of maybe secret episodes online that you could get
Okay,
legally,
like
not
cinema.
So you went
illegally.
from pirate to Irish to Scottish.
Well, take
Two, yeah.
I
Yeah.
did. I
Sticking
did
his
That
that.
needs a little
Brogue.
work.
I turned to Scrooge McDuck at that
Brogue.
point.
You to speak
Scrooge
Gaelic.
McDuck.
I'll surf in my my
Okay.
good old that's
So anyway,
that's
yeah,
Irish.
I watched the episode last night
Just
and
went
was
everywhere.
was
There you
very
go.
impressed.
He's
I
all
mean,
over the
So you
place.
did see it. So Cad Bane is a badass.
yeah, he is.
I mean, he's like, I mean, Darth
No,
Vader
that's Darth
would
Vader,
have an
definitely.
He
issue
looks
with
like
it.
a badass. He's got
Well, he
troops
is.
coming out of his
he
head.
he kicks the shit out of Jedis left and right.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
a bad guy then.
He is.
Yeah, he's like. straight
Well,
bad
see,
guy.
Tatooine at this time.
And I haven't even seen them.
This is after
Whatever this is
the
from, Boba
what is the?
Well,
not
he was
the
big in the
last
Clone
one, but-
Wars. He was big in the
Return
Clone
of the
Wars.
Jedi.
That's what it is.
So he's
Well, he was
just a
even before
badass.
that. He was big in the Clone Wars, which
Yeah.
was before Return of the Jedi.
So he's part of the Pikes. He was hired on by the Pikes, who run a spice
Syndicate.
racket.
Oh,
A
great.
syndicate.
They're drug runners.
Is that another spoiler alert?
Essentially.
No.
No, it's well known, and he's
It's
basically
well known.
one of the enforcers. And they're kind of like, hey, we got a problem down there at Tatooine. We're trying to get the spice, and we get some resistance down there. So
they're
they
from
sent
New
down,
Jersey then.
They sent Cad Bane down there. And he's like, hey, heard you're not paying. Or the pizza pies are...
Yeah,
What
what
I
the hell?
enjoy is
What's going on here?
they have the same guy doing the voice that they did in Clone Wars. Yes,
He's
they
got
do.
a great voice.
It's the same guy doing this voice that he did in Clone Wars.
And good for them for doing that.
Well,
That's
so
actually amazing.
what race
I like
or,
that.
or species is that guy?
Blue.
I don't know. I don't know if they.
Because you
They-
know nowadays they have to be whatever in real life. They have to be
Well,
the
he's-
race
well, first
that
of all,
they
he's
are
a-
representing.
He's a bounty hunter,
He's a
and
bounty.
he's from the planet Duro.
But,
Right,
he- but,
so
a, but a white
that's my
guy.
point. Is a Durian guy
No, a white guy is
What was the last time you met a sand
a
person?
human?
a human. Yes. That's speaking of.
Well, hold on. What do you
When
get?
was the last time you met
No,
a Jawa?
Speaking of, well, what it is you can't play a gay character unless you're truly gay,
That's right.
Oh, get out of here!
and you can't play a black character unless you're black.
That's
You know
right.
that you
Shut
know,
the fuck up.
you know that implies to
so
actual
is a
deaf people as
Durin
well.
is a Durin doing the voice of this guy?
No,
Well, he's
is what I'm
blue,
asking.
though.
he's not real,
Dude, he's blue. I mean, how can you?
Okay, guys,
and he's got sharp teeth.
we gotta think
Hold on,
about
I'm
this.
not following you.
This, I mean, we're talking about a show about
He should
space
sound like
wizards.
a Papa Smurf then.
Now, I did see on Tucker that Disney is remaking a live action of Snow White and the Seven Dwarves.
Why,
Snow White and the Seven Dum Dums.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarves.
dude? Do they?
Well,
are,
Peter
they gonna
Dinklage-
get 7 minutes?
Peter
Fuck
Dinklage
Peter.
took exception and said that the dwarves are I'm just going to use this term because everyone uses it, racist, right? So Disney has changed it to normal humans, normal men, normal-sized men. So
But
the
that's-
dwarves
but
are going
those
to be
aren't
played by
dwarves.
normal-sized men, and
How's
they're
that
not going to
work?
be represented by dwarves. So
Well, that's
Tucker
offensive
But
to
that's
the little
but
people.
that's
Well,
Snow
that's the
White and the
point.
7 dudes
So-
at that point.
Tucker was interviewing a fellow dwarf, right? He was an actor. He was a WWE guy, and he's an actor. He goes, and this guy was like, "This is the dream job of the dwarf community."
Of course.
And Peter Dinklage just took these roles, 7 roles, away from the dwarven community.
Peter Dinkler did?
Yeah,
Peter Dinklage,
because
Yeah.
he called it
because he
racist.
commented
He's
that
kinda like,
this is
I think
offensive to
we're,
all dwarves.
It's
blah
dwarfist.
blah blah. So Disney changed. Now they're going to use normal size
And
men.
he's like a multi-millionaire. What
Correct.
an
Well,
asshole.
he's done well. He's done well.
yeah,
you
but what
know,
a dick.
But
in
he's like
terms
the
of-
only one.
Thrones
Yeah.
and, but in
He
Elf.
he
I had
screwed
him
the
up
rest of the
a second ago.
guild of,
Right.
of little people who are actors.
Correct.
Yeah, that's true for 7 positions.
For
But
7 key roles. How many
it-
key roles
it-
that are perfectly built
It
for
doesn't
dwarves?
matter. This
Right.
falls into the same freaking uncomfortable slot as a wokeism, where
On Dinklage's part.
yeah, exactly. That's just ridiculous. I mean, and they caved in and they
Yeah,
did
right
it.
there.
Now, did they do it, or
Are they gonna
is
do
it
it?
just
Well, according
something
to-
they're considering?
Well, no, according to Tucker, that they said, well, we're going to change and we're going to have normal sized men.
I think that's
play
stupid.
the
and Snow White's
dwarves.
Hispanic.
Yes, Snow White is Latino.
There's no
Latina, sorry.
Yeah, Latina.
Snow, but
She's
Snow,
a Latina.
Latina.
like, wait.
What the
What?
hell's going on over there?
I'm having a brain
Is it
hemorrhage.
Snow-
I
Yeah, you
can't picture Snow White Latina.
Well, let me think of Selena y los Dinos.
Why can't if
just-
Snow White can be
Biddity bum
Latina? Why
bum.
can't the princess and the frog be white?
Well, no, it goes one way.
Whatever, man.
What?
I'm
sorry.
Bomb dropped.
What about Mulan? And what about what is the? There's something with
Why
what is
can't
the,
Mulan
the
be
girl
black?
that like kisses a frog and a princess? or
That's
something
exactly
like
what I was just talking about.
that. Well, what is
Princess
that?
and the Frog.
That's
Princess
called
and a
Princess
Frog.
and the Frog.
And she's what?
She's black.
She is black.
She's black.
In the movie.
Yeah, she's black in the movie.
In the
more
Disney
brown.
movie.
No, she's still black.
Is the frog white?
I mean,
No, the
African
frog.
American.
Well, the frog before he turned into a frog, he was black.
What?
It's a
I
black
think.
frog.
Well,
Those
no,
are-
the frog.
those
The
are
color
highly
of the
poisonous.
frog
Yeah,
is
with
green,
red dots.
but it's a person
Yeah.
that gets
I
cursed.
mean, those are deadly. My God, why would Disney do that?
Oh, well, they wanted to get stoned because they were like licking the back of the frog.
Well, what I don't understand
That's
is
how you get stoned by
is-
licking the back of a frog.
is if
That's
they-
what I understood.
if they remake Aladdin again, would they change up Aladdin?
yes.
well, they did. They put Will Smith as the Aladdin.
No, for Aladdin, the
that-
Aladdin guy, right? So why are they changing Snow White?
It's so dumb
Why wouldn't they? Why do they do this shit?
because they're changing the norm of everything so that everything is accepted.
Oh, she
no,
was
they're
white.
they're trying to get out of the
I didn't even know she was white.
white is
You
the,
mean the
is
original
the way
saying.
of
frog
life.
princess
That's what I'm
was
saying.
white?
They're
Is the
trying to-
norm.
Yeah, they're trying to get out of everything that is like been historically accepted as the norm. They're trying
That's
to
what
blow
I mean.
it up.
It goes one way. It doesn't go the other way.
Right.
See,
They will
and-
never
and here's
they
the
will
thing,
never remake
it
Mulan
never-
and put a white person in there
It
instead.
never bothers me if
White
they have
character.
a new movie, where it only bothers it just for some reason. I'll call it. I'm on the fence here, like Black Entertainment, BET. You know,
BET.
I mean, is there a big deal that they have a BET station? I mean,
I don't care.
I really don't care. But my inner monologue's like, what the fuck? I mean,
No, you do care.
well, I'm just thinking.
He's thinking why.
I'm just thinking,
I
you know,
know.
if we were to do something like that, like, have a wet TV, white entertainment channel, but all the entertainment channel, fuck you. If we were to have a channel that excluded all races but white,
Oh yeah. No, I see your point
that
there.
shit wouldn't. I mean, it's just come on, man. The fact
It's
that
divisive.
we allow,
I still think it's divisive.
if we allow black and this is why it bothers me, and I mentioned this earlier in today's the first half of this podcast with the Black History Month, which I am totally for and I'm not against, and I would be mortified if anyone were to interpret my the way I'm saying things as to be racist, but I disagree that it's an inappropriate. It's inappropriate to bring up these types of holidays and representations at the workplace. I just don't think people should be raised to a level based on their pigmentation.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a big thing on the Supreme Court right now.
Yeah, next one.
They're telling Biden it has to be a black woman. I mean, that
that
is
is so
so
unhealthy.
It's so outrageous.
Well, look how well it worked for him last time. He got Kamala,
It's it's so unhealthy.
which is terrible.
And
Highly underqualified.
highly,
you
highly.
you need to get the best person in there. And
yes, who's
you
gonna
know,
who's gonna interpret the Constitution and apply it,
and here's the thing.
impartially.
Here's the thing.
Impartially.
If this is a I think they should nominate. Don't they nominate like 5?
No, he
So
picks
then-
he
I
picks
don't know.
one person. He has a list.
Then I think that
I
he
guarantee he already knows who
he
it's going
should
to be.
pick like
Of course.
5 or 6 and
No,
line them up and kind of let the the Senate kind of knock each person down.
no.
And
Well,
see
well,
who's
that's
he
what the
probably
Senate
has.
does.
He probably has 3 or 4 people. His top one is going to be a black female, and if she gets knocked down, the next one's probably going to be a black female.
And you know the irony, Biden in his past has voted against 2 black female
I know. I saw
Supreme Court nominees.
that, and you will not see that in the press. Guarantee.
Yeah, so it
100%.
has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with a black female. It has to be a black female that is going to carry the water for the Democrat Party,
for the socialists.
for the leftists. I mean, and it's outrageous. It's outrageous.
Well, I think it all goes down to it needs to be based off of merit and skill and competency.
So why is a black woman more important than a Asian woman? What about an
Because
Asian?
Asian-
What about an Asian man?
Well,
What about a
because we-
It's the narrative.
Polynesian man?
Well, because we saw that Asians are now considered white in the college admissions.
Really?
Yes.
That's,
Wow.
there's a lawsuit going to the Supreme Court against Harvard.
Yes,
They are discriminating against Asian Americans.
they are.
Harvard.
Isn't that like actual legit discrimination?
Yes.
Yes,
you're-
that's why it's going to the Supreme
I was
Supreme
Court.
like,
Court.
That's
It'd
actual
be nice
racist.
if we can like just cut
Technically.
all this shit out.
What about
And-
what? Why can we not demand a Native American woman as a Supreme Court justice?
Well, who's native?
Native American.
Who's native?
The people that were here
before
before. Wait, hold on.
before the
So
Columbus
So the people
But it
that
doesn't
were
matter.
before the white people, but
argument-
after someone else.
but
The
after
argument-
someone else. Yes.
The
okay.
argument
Thank you.
is that who's native? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Is it doesn't matter because before the native folk that were here prior to the British colonies being developed, there was someone else there.
Yes.
And they were dominated.
Yes.
And they were dominated. In fact, you had several tribes while we showed up, and we interrupted their whole trying to
Genocide.
yeah, they're fucking just killing everybody.
Yes.
You know, they didn't give a fuck who it was. Guess what? These are our lands. We're taking it. No, man, you fucking freaks. You know what the hell are you doing? Fucking what is like cannibalism? You know, and just kind of crazy Aztec shit.
Did you know a side effect of cannibalism was like maniacally laughing?
Really?
Yeah, I learned that like I think today.
That was a side effect of eating other humans.
How do they prove this?
Yeah, I would like.
Sounds
to,
like the same scientific
I can't even
rationale behind
like,
COVID and the vaccines.
Right, could be. Could be.
Well, it's just I'm so sick of race issues.
I think
maybe-
it should get to the point where you put your name, first name, last name, address,
Experience.
boy or girl. That's it.
Yeah.
Who cares what race you are?
Oh, I see. You mean on like forms? and
On
stuff.
forms. Why do you?
Yeah.
The only
Oh, no,
reason
no,
we
you
put
need
that.
other, and that's what I would have on there.
I mean,
Boy, girl, or other.
why? No, there is no other. There's
I agree.
boy or girl.
I agree, but
So,
some people are
but
confused.
if you take race out of it, the only reason we have race is for quotas and shit like that.
Yes.
That's the only reason.
Yeah. but
Why
that-
else would we? Now, on health records, because it's different, you may need it. But if you're hiring someone, what does it matter if they're black, white, Indian, Asian, whatever?
Well, you already said it. It's to an agenda, right?
To fit a diversity
A
goal.
quota.
To say,
affirmative
I have
action.
this many percentage
Correct.
of this race, I have this many of this. But if we did away with it, who would give a shit? I have a great company.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
very competent people.
So here's what that stems from. That stems from a misguided
There you go.
government-centered approach to solving a problem. So they believe, right? So there are certain classes there are certain races that fall into different socioeconomic classes. So they're like, okay, to solve that problem, we have to mandate that businesses hire this or universities accept this, or I mean that is a very typical government solution to
Well,
a problem.
diversity, and it doesn't work.
And the solution is not effective.
It doesn't
Right.
work.
Well, I tell you what, I'm in a hiring
Never.
role, and no one has ever come to me and said, I have 5 people. You need to hire this type of person. I've always been able, at least in my company, I've always been able to hire who I've wanted to hire.
Me too.
And in my goals and my standards are who is the best and who's going to work with my team.
Mine's always been if they're female and hot.
What size is their bra cup?
Really?
There you go, bra
Right.
size.
Bra size. That's one of my
Wait.
questions. What's your bra size?
Wait, what are you hiring
No.
them for?
But that's what
Are you willing to show me during the interview?
No, but that's what it is.
Take
It's
off your
If
shirt.
he has-
who's
if he has
gonna-
big green,
who's going to
dreamy
do the job
eyes.
the best and who's going to work
That
with
was
my
very
team the
sexist.
best.
Jeff.
Yeah,
Hi,
Paul.
welcome to the
What you
interview.
said.
Yeah, Paul. You
Take off
no,
your
you weren't
shirt.
there. And that's my criteria.
Absolutely.
I don't give a shit.
It's 100% the merit, your experience.
Correct.
Your
Let me
talent,
introduce
your
you
skill.
to the couch.
100%. 100%.
This is the interview
No,
couch.
no, don't go.
Right,
don't go
Weinstein.
Hollywood.
Today.
Yeah,
We'll
don't
start
go
calling you
Weins-
Harvey.
Weinstein.
Hey, Harv.
Welcome to the interview.
Hi, my name is Sean, and
That is 100% how
high?
it
So I would-
probably still is. in
So how
Hollywood.
would that work? So some little actress would walk in, and was he already just standing there nude,
No.
or was he just like assume the position?
All right, well, here's the deal, Angela.
No,
I
no,
appreciate you
no.
coming to today's interview.
Take your
I'll
pants.
just level with you right now. You have meet all the quotas. Your blonde hair, your blue eyes, and your measurements are perfect. You're exactly the person we're looking for. I have 4 other folks. 4 other people just like you, and we're going to line them all up, and we're going to vote on it a little bit earlier. I will let you know.
There is a faster way
Yeah,
of guaranteeing.
So and so's
I-
already giving me a
You can
beige.
increase your odds if you zip.
here's the deal. I
You
don't
can
care
increase
who
your
gets it.
odds if
I don't care who gets it, but I guarantee that if I say XYZ gets it, they're going to get it. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So if you really want it, you're
So-
going to
How
have
much
to,
do you
so-
want it?
So I'm envisioning.
That is so snaky and bullshitty.
It's
you
awful.
know what happens?
Oh, I
Some
know it
call
does.
it
So hold on.
rapey.
These guys are in an office. Just imagine the office.
Well,
There's-
hold on. No,
there's
hold
a-
on. Before,
Okay.
imagine the opposite. Imagine the antithesis here. Imagine the blue-eyed blonde girl going, "Hi, Sean.
Hey.
I want this really bad, and I'm willing to do anything.
Even practice your part.
Anything to do it. And
Anal?
you know what? Did you say anal?
Paul?
Even
No,
put in the effort to
actually, my
practice
microphone's been off.
your
Yeah.
lines and do the part really nice.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure
then
that
Anything?
and
I'm
then-
sure that's what the part is. I think the women
Do you think so?
instigate. Look,
No,
look,
I don't.
So she walks in
I
and
think
she
some of that
says-
happens. I think he drove most of that.
they have compilations of
No,
female
they don't.
Grammy winners that all say
They
"Thank
do
you, Harvey
anything.
Weinstein."
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. And
Maybe he's a
And
good
why
lay.
do you know this?
dude, I'm just saying, maybe he's a shoe in and he understands how to get these things done, and he knows the power of suggestion,
So,
and he knows the right types of roofies to work that
So
Bill
now I'm
Cosby
curious.
has
See,
mastered.
that's where I was going. So just imagine you have young aspiring actresses in an incredibly difficult industry,
Oh, you're
right?
giving roofies,
So
huh?
competitive. No, so competitive. Imagine the office they walk into. It's immaculate. There's this wonderful leather chair and a beautiful desk and a wonderful for a couch. And she's intimidated and excited because this is an amazing opportunity, and he makes her feel so comfortable.
too
Right?
comfortable.
Too comfortable. And he's like, "Come on in, come on, darling, sweetie, whatever." He's talking.
Can I get you anything?
Yeah, and then he makes her a drink. Oh, I'm not.
Would you like to try this
I'm
on?
not-
for size?
Can I
Your little
massage
shit.
your
Oh,
back?
Mr.
Your skin
Weinstein, I'm
feels
not
too-
21. Oh, relax, honey. There's no adults in here. Here, have a drink.
Do I look like an officer
right?
to you?
I mean, so you know what I'm saying? I mean, they are pros.
I have power of attorney. Your
They're
mom signed the papers.
100% pros at this.
Manipulative.
Yeah, and then they sit down, they make them comfortable, they talk about where their career is going and how beautiful they are, and have you met John Wayne?
Whoa.
Oh,
no, I
you're
have
gonna
not.
meet John Wayne. John's gonna love
don't wanna
you.
meet
He's
John Wayne.
I know he's gonna work with you so well.
He's
I mean,
dead.
You see what I'm talking about? No, I'm going back to the 50s, right? Or 40s or
guess I can't meet John
1870s or whatever.
I
it is.
think. I think Harvey.
Are you following me here?
I know what
They
you're saying.
are pros.
But I
at
bet-
setting this shit up.
But I bet it was an expectation that if you go and see him, you need to beige or screw the dude.
Probably.
Oh.
Somebody
Probably.
I
was
bet there's
getting
an
their
ex-
puppy wet.
I bet there is an expectation, and I bet he was slimy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he was that cool.
I mean, the story of Natalie Wood is disgusting.
Or her
Nat-
mom left her.
Yeah, yeah, the mom and sister are in the car outside the building, and she's upstairs getting
servicing.
getting boffed for 3 hours.
Oh,
She was
wow.
a teenager, right?
Yeah. Oh, she was 16.
She was 11.
No, I mean she's no, that's a minor.
She's
minor
just
attracted or
16
whatever?
years
Yeah, that's
old.
minor attraction.
Oh,
That's
I
minor
thought
attracted.
that was actually called pedophilia.
It is. It's
I mean,
gross.
but that's crazy, right?
Yeah, but that's the reality.
And then she got back to the car, and the mom was like, basically, did you seal the deal? Knowing full well what she just did.
went through.
She was like, "Well, did you get the part, honey?"
Well, I mean, it happens to guys
Did
too.
you-
I
did
mean,
you-
what
did
about
you do
Corey
what it takes?
Feldman and the other
Corey
I
Hines.
can't feel my
Corey
legs, Mom.
behind?
Yeah.
Takes the behind.
Well, he killed himself.
Killed himself.
He did. He did. He killed himself.
And then Corey
And-
Feldman was gonna like out everybody, and then it was nothing.
Then nothing.
Nothing happened.
No,
Yeah.
I think someone got to him and paid him a shitload of money.
Is that what happened?
The guy
Or
seems
they
off
said,
his.
"I'm going to kill your mom and your grandma and your sister
or
and your
that.
kids."
Well, I'm
he's kind of
sure.
off his rocker anyway. He's kind of screwed up. Seems to be.
Yeah, he seemed like he had some pointers that when he was hanging out with Michael Jackson was kind of like, "Is this what's going to make you successful, Corey?"
Show me your butthole.
Yeah,
It was like, show me your butthole.
No,
Woo!
seriously, like a lot of
Wow.
his, like he came out with several different music things. I don't know what to fucking call them.
What?
And-
Who? Corey Feldman did?
Corey
Yes,
Feldman.
he did. It was
Oh.
very Michael Jackson-ish.
Oh, and he's dressed
Really?
totally up like him. And see, even
Yeah.
his hair, and he's got a hoodie on and the glasses, and you could tell the
He
women
tried
are
to go in.
mortified.
He tried to go into the music business.
Yes, he did.
Really, you don't know this?
I don't know this.
Pull up Corey
I
Feldman.
thought he was an
music
80s,
video.
80s actor.
Music video.
Music video. Oh, it's a train wreck beyond train wrecks.
Oh,
it's
how
bad.
embarrassing.
And not only did they put it on national TV on prime time.
Why would they do that?
No, none of that. This is Corey Feldman. He
There
performed
you
on.
go.
So there we see some dance moves.
So he's dancing
That is
around like
very-
Oh
like
no.
Michael Jackson, and he's not even doing it right.
Oh no.
There's.
I don't know if they're gonna be able to play the video or not.
They're kind of laughing at him. You can tell.
And for you guys to see what we're seeing, it's him in a black outfit with a hood that looks about leather, and he's wearing boots.
Well, yeah, it's
With
from,
three women in the back that are wearing
This
angel
white
outfits.
It's like Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, this is actually season 4.
Look at the bases. She's hot.
Yeah, well, they're all very charismatic, but you know that they're all like, this dude is lame.
Oh no.
Now he's dancing around like a fucking he's doing interpretive dancing now. Interpretive dancing is into the scarecrow.
Oh, no. But you know what? So yeah, he had a really rough childhood of being abused and
that's what I'm
handed
saying.
around,
I was-
handed around by
A bunch
Weinstein's.
of guys,
Yeah.
a bunch of gay dudes in the business, like they were giving him
14,
drugs and
14
drinking.
15, 16, 17, just getting butt raped over and over
Oh,
again.
just
I mean,
like
how,
a Christmas stocking.
do you think you would put together a good music video after all that?
No.
I wouldn't.
It'd be a very, very depressing music
I
video.
would dance like that, I think. Very stiff.
I don't even know if I would dance in it. I don't even
Very
know
stiff where
if
my
I would
legs
dance in
and
the music
hips hurt.
video.
Is he going to sing?
All right, see if there's some more interpretive techno dancing.
Oh no.
Wow. Perspective, he's wearing the same outfit, and the women in the background are also wearing the same outfit. Oh, and there are 4 of them. My mistake. I thought there were 3. He's on a stage. He's kind of singing.
I'm kind of changing my opinion. I think he's
This is it.
He just took off his hoodie.
Whoa, that's a
Shit just
ponytail
got
right there.
real.
he's got a massive man bun.
Yeah, he's got a big tail coming out the back of his head.
Is it not
That's
a drummer?
I'm not
That's
sure
a-
what's going on
that's a-
here, man.
that's
She played the
DJ in the
computer back
background.
there.
Just he's DJing.
I gotta be real with you. It doesn't even look like they're really playing the instruments.
You're not.
I had no idea that he was a pop artist.
He's not a pop artist.
Just like Chris Gaines.
Whoa,
No, he had real
whoa!
shit
Chris
behind him.
Gaines, my idol, man. Don't hate on Chris
All right,
Gaines.
let's move on from this.
Yeah, okay, I agree.
God.
They put him on the Today Show for that.
Well, he was on a bunch of shows, and he performed a bunch, and every single one of them was just horrible. And it was like, I don't know why they want to. It's like they purposely trying to fuck with him.
It's like they're just making fun of him.
Bully.
Letting him make
yeah.
a fool of himself is
Yeah.
what it was.
That's sad.
Yeah.
So you know what? We never talked about Redwood Empire.
Oh,
The
yeah.
bourbon you guys are drinking.
It
not me,
is
It is.
because
That's a whiskey.
Is
No,
it?
So-
no,
it's
it's
a
bourbon.
bourbon
It's a
whiskey.
bourbon.
It's bourbon.
Oh,
Bottled in
well, it
Sonoma
says
County.
bourbon whiskey. I
It's
guess.
Hold on,
bourbon.
Bottled in Sonoma County, California.
It's bottled, but where is it distilled?
California.
I don't
No
know.
doubt about it.
Let's see. Let's see if I can't read that
California.
shit. So where's this distilled? What's it say?
Yeah, let's find it. All right,
well,
so it is red. Well,
it's
I think
called
it is
Pipe Dream.
California. Let's see.
So it's
here.
named for the 14th tallest tree on the planet. Pipe Dream is our bourbon whiskey. Pipe Dream bourbon is made from barrels aged between 4 and 12 years with high corn mash bill.
High corn mash bill.
Yeah.
All right. Just won a couple awards.
Well, it's high corn mash bill and raw rye.
So I'm curious. So you have this 4 to 12. That's a big gap, right?
It is. It is. Like, I guess they have a lot of
They have-
deluxe.
yeah, they got
bottles.
different tiers, right?
Yeah, they got the mash bill right here.
So
if you
it's
guys are curious.
21% rye raw and only 4% malt raw
Malt.
barley, which is kind
Okay.
of crazy. Very low.
I don't think that's atypical for what a lot of what we drink.
Yeah, but raw rye.
What's the difference between rye and raw rye?
I guess one's cooked and one's not.
One's
I don't know.
raw. One just goes in the
Kind of
batch raw.
all- I think it's all
Yeah.
kind of
So this is a blend.
a blend. Oh, it's a blend
It's
of
a blend of 4
barrels
to
that have-
12-year-old
Yes, that's a big
bourbon.
difference.
is what it is.
Yeah, big difference there.
So here, scroll up a little bit. So those the Pipe Dream tree, which is incredible because they have one Pipe Dream tree sitting there, 367 foot tall, taller than a football field, and it's claimed to be over 1,300 years old.
That's amazing.
That
That
is
is-
amazing.
Yeah, it
Have
really
you
is.
ever been around
so
a
that thing
tree
was
that big,
born
guys?
in I have. Yeah, I was out in Muir Woods. The redwoods.
Amazing.
It is. It's humbling. Well, even when we were out in Tahoe, the trees out there are tremendously large.
Right,
Yeah.
Awesome.
But the redwoods are 10 times that size,
right.
and it's amazing the size of these things.
Agreed.
And I mean, you could live in one if you carve
yeah.
one out. It's big enough to make a house in. And I'd like to see scale. Like someone standing next to that. How wide that is.
There actually is. Do you not see him? He's right
Oh.
there.
Right.
He's climbing halfway up the little tiny.
So I wonder how what the diameter is of that base, because you even see the footage. Someone just farted.
Yes.
I think that was Sean.
It was.
He lifted,
It
and I
was.
heard it.
I
And
didn't lift.
He
Oh,
made
just wait.
he made a movement.
You
In
did.
8 more seconds, you'll smell it too.
God.
No.
Luckily, my smell has not fully come back yet.
Well, mine is still here.
Yeah, mine never left.
Yeah.
Mine
Yeah,
never
but there-
left.
It was a small toot.
But
Whatever.
there's some of those trees
Those
that are
go a
so
long
big,
way.
you'll see that they have the road going through them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
The little
yeah.
cars will actually drive.
yeah,
through
like
them.
a
drive
bridge,
through the
like a
car.
tunnel. Yeah,
Yeah. So
crazy.
I've never seen one that big. Like I said, Muir Woods is the actually, if you saw the one of the Planet of the Apes movies, one of the new ones,
Yeah.
I think took place. Part of that was in
The
Muir
Muir
Woods,
Woods. Nice.
and at least
It
that's what they
is
said.
incredible. I'm looking at some of these pictures where,
look at that.
they drive through. I mean, look at the size of that tree. That is just, it's unheard of. I mean, that is Jurassic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it's-
it really is.
I mean, that is. I don't think that's that's not from this time period.
Why would they do that? Why would they cut a tunnel through that tree?
So
Maybe
they
it
can
was a-
drive through
It's
it.
better-
Just to make the point?
maybe
I
it
mean,
was.
it won't kill the tree.
Yeah, maybe it was already partially
I think it was to make the point.
carved out.
What do you want to chop that tree down?
Who knows?
That's awesome, though.
I mean, look at that. I mean, could you imagine what we could build out of that?
Well, I mean, can you imagine the structure itself, the
think make some
integrity
plaques.
of that redwood tree?
Right? That's a lot of
To
plaques.
go up 1,300 feet into the air, it's like
Would you stop it?
Really?
What?
It's blasting
Bro,
ass.
you like paused.
Seriously.
You were
Can you guys
talking
hear
and then
that?
you had to stop.
Yes.
I could hear that.
Dude,
God.
you were talking and then you stopped, farted, and then continued talking.
Ah, what a jackass.
I wonder if
No,
my
that
truck.
wasn't me. That
I
was
wonder if my
Austin.
truck could fit through those.
No.
Like
Not
that
your
one there.
truck.
No,
No,
it
your
could
truck
not.
is
All
actually.
right, so it's an
you have-
extremely large
this car
redwood,
fitting through
and but
that.
it's very humbling. Like you said, I've never been up to a redwood before like that. That is
It's
just
super cool.
huge.
Yeah, I've been up to, like I said, Muir Woods. Look up Muir Woods. They're not that big, and it's beautiful because there's this path that goes. Yeah, that path right there.
Yep.
And
I
actually, I
wanna
have a
go here.
picture just like that guy right there with that one there. I
Yep.
have a picture of me standing in front of that same tree.
Is that you?
It's still there?
Holy
What do you
cow.
mean?
Could be, yeah.
Jeff, you look a bit different.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's not
That's-
quite me.
Well, that one's that looks like it's about 10 foot in diameter.
Yeah. But that's about the biggest wood they. Well, I don't know if it's the biggest one, but that's about what they are there, right?
Yeah.
When you see the big ones.
That's an average one.
Yeah. But I wonder how old that is. I'm sure there's signs that tells you. I just don't remember. But I'm sure it's.
I mean, this sounds kind of
There's
retarded,
stripes in
but
the
I mean,
tree.
they've got like on a what is that? World of Warcraft. I mean, they have like
oh, I know what you're talking about. That one elf, the elf.
well,
village
they've
or
got
whatever,
several
where you have like the
areas
houses,
where-
the trees hollowed out as
yeah,
houses.
they got several areas, but it's just amazing. I mean, when you play a video game like that and you're thinking, I know it's crazy, but
Yeah,
when you play,
I think the word was retarded, but keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
no, but I never
do you
until today. I learned just now that the redwoods were that big.
They really are.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
they were that big, and that's why I was relating it to the World of Warcraft because they have a bunch of trees like that. And I'm like, that is fucking crazy. Can
You know what I
imagine having a
find-
tree like that?
What I find more fascinating is not how big they are, but how old they are.
Yeah, they're
So
tremendously old.
we went to
1,000 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah. We went to a park where they had a redwood forest, and they had the cross section on they had it sideways, like a big cross section of it, and they had the rings, and then they had these arrows.
So this was the Civil War.
Yes,
This was
yes. I
the,
mean,
Oh, yeah.
the Boer Wars.
I thought it was even crazier than that. It was like the fall of the Roman Empire,
right.
and like I mean,
Oh
it
yeah,
was
it
like,
was. 'Cause that's how
yeah,
far
it had
back
these
it goes.
arrows. It had the arrows at these different lines, and I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me? These have been here forever, like
Yeah.
forever."
Yep.
That's very, very cool.
Well, 1300 years puts it at what? 700?
Yeah, there you go. Here's what I'm talking about.
700 AD?
Right.
I mean, we've only been here since what 1600s, 1612,
What?
What? Who's
United
we?
States.
oh,
1492
I was
was
about to
Christopher
say.
Columbus.
1492 was Christopher
I was gonna
Columbus.
say you're a little late on that one.
Yeah, but the colonies were started. Okay, my point is.
Yeah, no, it's legit. Keep going.
So I'm just. I'm just saying. That's 500 years. I mean, it's extremely humbling.
And
Yes.
that's, barely,
You know,
that's
yeah.
barely
when you
half.
think of it on the scale.
That
of
those
things.
trees were already 700 years old?
Yeah.
Correct.
800,
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, when Christopher Columbus came over, well, he didn't go to California, but the first people that went to California were like, "Wow, these trees are massive,"
Right.
and that was 400, 500 years ago.
In
I mean, you're
Calif-
almost thinking that like, are there giants around here?
right?
in California, it's illegal to chop down a giant redwood tree.
Okay,
That's
well-
over 3,000 years old.
Good luck trying to do that. That would take you. It would probably take you 6 months to try to cut that thing down.
I've gone through my
Challenge
fifth
accepted.
chainsaw
I got a
today.
drywall saw.
Dynamite.
Right? No, you have a Dremel.
I wonder
tool.
if those are fireproof as well
No,
at this point.
he's using
because
a
their
what are those
bark,
called?
a Dremel.
their bark is so thick. I wonder if they're fireproof.
They've probably been exposed.
I mean,
well,
how many
don't know,
fires
man.
do you think they've
Redwood
been
is-
through?
No, that's a great point.
In
There's
1,300 years,
there's
I
freaking
guarantee.
forest fires all the time in California.
Right. I bet
Oh,
that
that's an interesting notion. Redwood is naturally an insect repellent too. I mean, like the bugs won't like eat into redwood,
They're-
but it's moldy though. It's
Is
very
it?
wet.
Well, I
Well-
do recall in the place we went, it was very musty.
Yeah, it was. It's very because
Very musty.
Muir Woods is just north of San Francisco.
I think that's where we were then.
Yeah, so that's just north,
And
like
it was
right
very
across.
musty.
Look at
It's
what the
right
tree looks
across
like.
the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yes.
Is where it is. So you may have been to Muir Woods.
Sausalito is right across the Golden Gate
Yeah.
Bridge.
So yeah,
We stayed there that night. Shelley and I.
yeah.
How was that?
That's
We could have
awesome.
been there at the same time.
We could have been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was 2005.
This conversation is turning gay.
Yeah.
I think.
We were going to talk about something when we came back from the podcast, and we were like,
We already did.
Yeah, we
No,
already
we
covered that.
didn't.
Okay,
Right.
one
The
sec. Look
bourbon.
at this. Look at this photo.
It was one of
It-
your
For those that can't see this because this is audio only, it's two little kids.
Well, those are little
hugging-
kids. I bet
I
I,
know,
could,
but
I could
like-
wrap my arm around
But
that.
Oh,
look
yeah.
how
Yeah, those
Me
are
too.
kids.
there's what? No bullshit.
What about Shaq? What would Shaq look like?
These little kids look like ants compared to this.
Yeah, they
this
really do.
massive
How
tree.
deep do you think that goes?
I
What
don't
does the
want to even
root-
think
What does the
about
root structure
At
look
least
like?
3 to 4 feet.
It's just right there. You can pick it up and
I would imagine 100 yards. I mean,
Each
50
direction?
yards.
Well, you would have to think how do the roots work in a redwood tree?
I
There's
mean,
like different type of roots in each tree.
1,300 foot in the air. You would have to have an incredible base to be able to maintain.
You'd have
It's
to
an-
have at least 40-50% of the height in under the ground.
So you're saying this is like an iceberg?
yeah. No, because usually
No,
most
the
of the
opposite.
iceberg. Yeah.
No, this is a tree.
trees. I mean, if you cut trees down and you get one of those little trunk blasters, I mean, they really don't go down that far.
They
I
spread
mean,
out.
They have capillaries
trees go wider
that keep it
than deeper.
taut. But I mean, as far as
But you're not getting anywhere near all of it. You're just grinding it down to the point where the soil is usable underneath
I
where
guess
the
you got a
original
good
root
point.
ball was.
True.
Right?
yeah, I guess.
So I would think at least 40% of the height is under the ground.
Really?
That's
Just-
what I would think.
To support that thing?
Yes.
I bet.
I
Really
mean,
goes
spread
down
out. Spread out probably. I'm talking about depth, not necessarily girth. That's a great question to ask. Root balls of redwoods. I bet you it would tell you.
Look at that. They're actually showing some pictures of it. So it'd be kind of interesting to dig down into the bowels of one of those redwood root balls to get in there. And I bet there's all kinds of interesting stuff. I bet you'd find tremendous history.
You mean like
go.
Things that are sifted through the
of course.
coins, just cars.
So what it looks like, it's about the roots
Old
go back
buildings.
about a third down,
Like a
from where the
warship,
tree's
a
hiding.
warship or two.
Look, there's all kind because of the nature of the trees and how they grow and the roots stretch and they can pull things and I mean, you said yourself you mended a tree and put a bolt in the middle of it and it's completely grown over it now.
It totally has.
I mean, I'm
They're
thinking.
very resilient. I had no idea.
So it's
No,
it's
I'm being
kinda
serious.
cool.
I mean, the story he's telling, we had an ice storm, and we had a 700. I mean, for a young couple, this is like a big investment. We had a $700 live oak or red oak in the back of our yard,
A
and
red
we had
oak
we had an ice storm, and about 40% of the tree in one big limb was laying on the ground, but not completely detached from the trunk. And so I was like, shit. What the hell? And my wife was like, oh my God, we lost our tree. I was like, wait, whoa, hold on. So I lifted the whole thing up. I secured it and I drilled 2 holes and I put bolts all the way through to the other side. And it wasn't a big tree, right? It was brand new for the most part.
So you
and
gave it a
I
good
put
old
bolts.
surgery.
like a 510 caliper.
Yeah, like a 5 or 10 caliper, 220, 240, whatever.
You put the tree down.
Makes no sense.
221.
You said, "Don't look, honey."
So I put
it like 5 inches in diameter ish?
it was probably like, this. So what is that?
All
Three?
Chode side?
It was a chode.
That's about 6 inches.
It was a cheed. Anyway, so I put 2 bolts all the way through, and then like 15 years later, we're over at the neighbor's house because the neighbor's still living there, and we're visiting. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go see what's going on with that tree.
I'm going to go trespass.
I'm gonna go trespass. No, I just
So
looked
you
over
broke into the
I looked over
backyard.
the fence, and that thing was the trunk was so wide that the bolt was 100% encased inside the bark.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's cool.
I
You
know.
know-
I mean, trees are very resilient.
I saw a photo of a deer's rib cage. An arrow pierced through it, but it didn't pierce all the way through it. And the way the rib cage healed is it encased the arrow in bone.
Sure it would.
So
Kinda
it
like a
just kept
splinter.
living. It just kept going.
Yeah,
The deer was alive
Very
with an arrow
uncomfortable.
in its
very
rib cage.
uncomfortable. Very, very.
I would imagine
uncomfortable.
that would be uncomfortable.
And it's just like you have the arrow, and it's just all encased in bone. I can see if I can find the photo.
Well, I mean,
but
and then you hear stories of people that live with all sorts of stuff in their bodies, like humans.
Yeah. Yeah, you hear about that.
Yeah, they're like some sort of like a knife stuck in their.
Oh, yeah. There's people that
Anus.
have surgeries, and the doctor will leave the scissors in
Man,
there
there it is.
and
Well, you'll hear
tweezers
Well,
and
you
all
hear-
kinds of shit,
well,
man.
those people go septic. You'll hear people leaving the sponges and the wraps and
Yeah.
the
Wow,
There's
look
stuff
at
like
that!
that.
It is a rib
There you go.
cage where it grew bone around the arrow.
I bet he had a little like pain in the side.
so essentially, it's like 5 bones, and like, so you know how you put tally marks down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5 goes across the bones. Essentially, the arrow's across the bones, and it's encased in bone.
I bet if he laid down the wrong way, he would like puncture his liver or something.
He was like the
Ugh.
Yeah.
so
well,
when they were
be-
horsing
yeah, it
around, he'd
looks
be like,
painful.
"Whoa, dude, seriously,
Really, I got a blade in my
I
in my
got a
side.
freaking arrow in my stomach, you a-hole."
I mean, I stepped on something. I think it was a tiny screw or a piece of glass shard.
and now it's just
it
encased
just
in your foot.
disappeared into my heel. I mean,
Sorry, He's got a bone encased screw in his foot.
Well, I mean, the X-ray it looked like a screw, and it was probably a quarter of an inch. It was like a really small screw that would fit in a calculator or something, you know.
Right.
And I don't know. I was just walking. You know how you're walking barefoot around and you're like own it, and then all of a sudden you step on something and you're like, and you step on it with your full force,
You go
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and you're like, oh man,
That hurt.
go like, youch.
emotional damage.
But it's
Bam.
physical.
So this thing was in my foot for like a year, maybe longer, and it went away. And then one day I stepped on my foot wrong, and next thing you know, I had to go have surgery.
When
Because
they pulled
it
out a
was-
screw.
Well, they pulled out a chunk that had a
They
bunch of scar tissue over it, so
Pulled
I
out
never
and twin.
knew exactly what it was.
So your body kind of absorbed it and just encased
Well,
it.
It kinda
what
looked like
he-
that.
That's what he's showing on the screen.
There you go.
It was
Kind of
an-
looks like
it was
that. Just a bunch of
spear.
scar tissue that had grown over it, and they took out a mass. They literally just took out a mass. I mean, they just
You didn't cut it open and keep
They-
the
Oh, they
screw,
do it.
put it in your like supplies.
Oh yeah.
man. Strange enough,
I've been looking for that. Damn
it was a very
to the remote
odd-
control.
It was a very odd procedure. I never really knew what was going to happen. I had the whole thing was.
I bet
odd.
you were thinking they were like, I'm gonna have to amputate my
Well,
foot
they didn't
because it
have
healed
a-
wrong.
They didn't have a conversation with me and say, "Hey, look, so we're gonna go A, B, C, and D." They were just like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna need you to show up at this date, and we're gonna take care of that thing." And you're like,
Did they?
and
Did you
so I
get?
was
Did
like,
you have
"All
to
right,"
get
but
knocked
they never
out?
really coached me on what is. Yeah, dude, I was out. Like I was out.
Imagine.
They had a what they call where they stick a needle in between your spinal cord.
In your
And-
penis.
Whoa.
No.
That would
No.
be called a spinal block.
So they put a spinal block in, and I shit you not, I couldn't feel anything.
You
From-
Oh,
awake?
this
You
is when
awake?
your dick was going all over the place, right?
Yeah, I was.
And you're
Well, that's the
urinated.
same
You were
story?
urinating
Yeah,
everywhere.
that was the same story. So, well, the doctor, you know,
when he urinated because he thought the hot white
Yeah.
nurse was coming in.
Yeah. Yeah,
Not
he
even-
deliberately took
no,
off his
it
underwear.
did not
Peed
work like
everywhere?
that. So
yes.
what had
There's
happened
more to this story.
was no, I'm not going to get it.
And he was
all that.
helicoptering.
Yeah. He's like, it's happening by itself.
As he was
I'm
like,
so-
I
helicopter-
can't
Who's
I'm
just
feel
doing
sorry,
it?
I just urinated all over you.
So
I can't
you know how
feel
the
it.
doctor's like, hey, look, we're not going to release you until
Help
you pee.
me.
And so, dude, I did everything I could. I was like, I was pushing all my muscles up in my chest and my upper stomach, and I could not get myself to pee. It was frustrating. And
It
none
must
of,
have
you know,
been.
and when you reach down there, and I don't know if anyone's ever had a spinal block before, but if you have, you
Women
reach down there
typically have that.
and you touch your junk, it's like you're touching somebody else's junk. I mean, it's odd because
So
you go to
Did it turn you on or turn you off?
strangely.
Whoa, whoa.
I was just like,
Stop.
that is huge.
Oh,
I was
here
thinking-
we go.
I was thinking to
And then
myself,
and then he
somebody
peed all-
has been
And then he
blessed.
peed all over himself.
Right. He's like, look at
He
this
was
big,
so he
look
was
at
so
this big
turned
peeing
on.
machine.
I'm gonna pee on myself.
Oh my God, it's helicoptering.
Golden shower.
We have liftoff. No, I'm joking.
I'm so sorry. I can't control this
Jesus.
thing right now.
God.
And doesn't it feel like somebody else's? So weird.
Nurse, touch.
It's funny.
I can't stop touching it.
Doctor, look.
That's
Is
crazy.
this someone else's? And he's stretching it like gum.
So here,
Well, this
bring me-
thing's
bring me that
weird.
Comic. I'm gonna repeat. I'm gonna stick the what is it?
Well,
the,
how does
the
this thing
Popeyes
work?
ink to my balls
What?
like silly putty.
Oh, what? Okay, that was weird.
It's like when you take the print
Anyways.
off the
Yeah,
newspaper.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, bring that comic strip over here. I'm
God.
gonna press my ball sack against that comic strip
Okay.
and pull the ink off
That made me uncomfortable.
like silly putty.
Now you
That's
got me
funny,
thinking
actually.
about Popeye.
In
That's
fact, then
the
after you get the silly putty Popeye print on your ball sack, then
No.
you could stretch it like a silly
What
putty.
do you mean, silly buddy print
See,
ball
this is the
sack
fun that,
about-
well,
Where's
not,
the Popeye coming
pull up
from?
silly putty and comic
No.
strip?
Where's the
Don't.
Popeye coming from, though?
Well, that's
Well, it was the
Popeye.
comic strip. But it could be Dennis the Menace. I mean, whatever you want.
It could be
Ugh.
Beetle Bailey
Beanie Bailey was popular.
or Blondie.
Blondie. How about what is the guy from Andy Cap?
Andy Cap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was one of my
Handicap was a
favorite.
good one. And
Sh-
Garfield.
Shoe.
Garfield.
Garfield was a good one.
Remember Shoe?
Yeah.
The birds. I never understood that when I was too young to
Dennis the
understand that
Menace
one.
had his own. He was on the bottom right hand corner of the page.
Dennis the
He always
Menace.
had that little 5-inch by 4-inch little box at the right hand
Mr.
corner of the
What was
newspaper.
what was the stupid ones where it was like a soap opera? It was like well drawn people, and it was
Oh,
like
you had to pay attention week to week.
yeah, it was like a soap opera because again as a kid I didn't really I'd read it. I was like, this makes no sense
It's a
to me.
newspaper
Right, well-
comics.
This
Newspaper
makes no
comics.
sense. This is stupid.
Right.
It had like three things, and it would try to. It was like a soap opera. Is
Right.
what it
No,
was.
that's what. Yeah. And so you had to know what was happening like the
look
week
at
before.
Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, that's Mr. Wilson.
Remember Far Side? That was in the.
That's a classic. That's
Yeah.
still funny.
What are
It's
you doing,
still funny.
Dennis?
That's still relevant.
So what are the comic strips nowadays? Well, I haven't seen a paper.
They don't have it. I mean, they had Archie's.
Are you kidding?
No.
Yeah, they don't have comic strips. Oh, I mean,
Well,
they may have comic
No
books.
kids reading the newspaper.
No.
these
Time
days.
out.
No, they still have comics. I bet.
I was gonna say-
bet Beetle Bailey's still out there. I bet Blondie's still out there. I bet Dennis the Menace is
Like
still
new-
out
new-
there.
I don't
New
think
ones?
I don't. Probably
Isn't a new
ones.
one like For Better For Worse? Kathy,
New one.
What was there was like
Zitz.
Lulu.
I mean, there has to be aspiring cartoonists. I mean, this is not a
Was
thing
it Schultz
that's going away.
from Charlie Brown,
Charlie Brown was one of them. Look up. I think
Calvin and Hobbes.
Look up Zitz.
Calvin and
Zitz
Hobbes. That
comic
was a
strip.
big one.
He doesn't do it anymore though.
No, he doesn't. So Far Side probably doesn't either.
So yeah, so Zitz is one of them.
And sometimes
I've never
a
even heard
newspaper
of that.
itself will have their own marquee comic, and they'll have like the Far Side, for example, or how about Doonesbury?
Doonesbury, that was good.
And just really wise, dry sense of humor, crack up stuff.
Man, I have not
You're
thought about
mean,
comics
man.
in forever.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, that was part of like I mean, they would have like the Monday through Saturday newspaper that would have the regular comic strips on it, and on Sunday you would get the Sunday paper, and
color.
it was 15 times bigger than the regular
Oh, yeah.
newspaper because
Oh,
it had a
yeah.
bunch of advertisements in there.
Oh,
And in that bundle of advertisements and newspapers, you would have specifically like a 5-page insert for just comic strips only, and it was in color.
I used to read
It
it
wasn't the
every
black and white
Sunday.
one.
I used to read the comics every Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Every Sunday.
So I wonder when did comics enter the mix? Like in the 40s, in the 20s? I mean,
1938.
no, seriously.
I have no idea.
Oh, well, I mean, where's
Well, how old is Beetle Bailey? He's World War II, right?
okay?
Blondie, probably the 40s.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I mean, probably. I mean, we had
19. From what I'm reading,
Oh.
This is the first
1930s.
newspaper
What a
comic
guess.
strips appeared in
Late
North
1930s.
America.
What
did
a
you say?
guess. I said 1938.
you did.
No fucking way you said that.
he did.
I pulled that
He's
out of
spot on. 1938 says June of 1938.
Okay,
is
so
when
it was,
started.
and it was Marvel. I mean, it was Superman and Batman. Okay, so it was in the 30s,
1938.
clearly in the 30s.
Yeah, definitely. Probably the third right before World
All right, so
War.
there
World War
actually
II.
Yeah.
there are several
Yeah.
cartoon characters that appeared in American newspapers in the early 1890s in a strip called The Yellow Kid.
Yeah,
created by-
I bet back then before photographs, I
Yeah,
bet
but
you
it
had a
probably
lot
wasn't as
of
big.
caricatures and
yeah,
drawings
yeah.
and stuff like that. I bet it goes back farther before that. But the comic strip,
Mainstream.
I bet the comic strip section,
Yeah, the
wow.
concept of a comic strip.
maybe the 38s area.
I agreed.
But I bet you had sections where you'd see something
All the time.
of
I don't know how I feel about
it's
the yellow.
easier
Some-
to
kid.
follow
Agreed.
some political
stories.
cartoon, maybe a
Yeah,
political cartoon.
satire.
Right. I bet that's long ago.
Yep, agreed.
I don't know how I feel about the yellow kid.
But that's super
Yeah,
cool,
that's a
though.
little weird.
That's creepy.
Well, that's the
creepy
clothes
to
that
me.
we wore back then because that's what we got.
Yeah,
You
we just
wore
got
that.
we just got potato sacks.
Dude,
Yeah,
that,
I was about
that,
to say you wore this.
that outfit that yellow kid's wearing is something that it was probably cut from the sail of a boat.
Why is he got
For-
an alcoholic
for
drink in his hand?
for people that can't
I don't
see
know, it
this
looks like a
because
Manhattan
again, this is just
does.
pure
It
audio.
looks like
the
a-
outbreak of the Spanish.
Looks like
Dad.
a margarita.
Dad, explain this photo. Explain what this looks like to audio
Well,
viewers.
Did
Audio
you?
listeners.
Holy G, here's to you.
Good
And it
Lord.
says,
Describe the
did
kid.
yellow
Describe the kid
journalism
and what he's
fuel the
wearing."
outbreak of the Spanish, I'm thinking, flu?
Paul, describe the kid and what he's wearing.
Okay, he's wearing some sort of
like
like
a
a
dress.
yellow like a nun, almost like a nun outfit.
It's like a onesie kind of tutu.
No, it looks like a dress to me.
Yeah, it looks like what a
Like a-
nun would wear, except yellow, long sleeve. Very awkward.
He's
It
bald.
almost looks like a raincoat turned backwards.
Gigantic ears, a bald child lifting up a margarita glass.
Extremely
Mhm.
high eyebrows.
Like
Extremely
Gollum.
high
Are those
eyebrows.
heels? I mean, what's going on underneath the feet there?
No, I
Is
think
He's
there-
that
standing.
is
He's
spilled
standing on
wine.
champagne or something.
oh,
yeah.
he's standing on a spilled bottle
Yeah, he's
of
an
champagne.
alcoholic child.
Oh, clearly.
Nancy Pelosi eyebrows. That's what that is.
Oh.
This one makes me uncomfortable. His limbs
Okay.
are too
Everything is fun with me.
too low. Some
With
teen
me.
wine.
Yellow
So is that racist? That doesn't make sense.
Yellow
Whitney.
kid. Yeah, interesting. So it's got to be making fun and well, actually not making fun, dogging certain aspects of society. Clearly, that's what this is doing.
Yeah.
He is a nightmare.
So RF Out Cult, from the New York Journal, is the one that. Well, that's interesting. It's a 5 cents price, 5 cents, volume 1, number 1, the Yellow
5
Kid.
cents. Wow.
Well, I don't know. So the comic thing itself, yeah.
Luckily, that
Sundays-
one went away.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure it's a sign of the times. It kind of
that
similar looks
looks-
like Curious George artist. I mean, it's kind of the same kind of
It's 'cause-
style.
This is Curious George. This screams Curious George.
Yes, it does.
All right, so this is where he's standing there. There's a goat behind him, and it says, "Say, that goat thinks me fatter 'cause I'm a yaller kid."
Taller.
I wonder if that was a derogatory term, a yellow kid. I wonder if that was a derogatory term back in the late 1800s.
Maybe.
It has to be.
Yeah, there.
Because it has to be
I don't
some
know if that's
kind
supposed
of.
to be funny or if that's supposed to be critical satire. I can't tell if it's supposed to be funny or not. The yellow kid.
wrestles with a tobacco habit.
Okay.
Wow,
Well-
they did a great visualization of stomach ache and the cigar making the
He
individual
got sick.
ill.
That's what happened.
The way they make the smoke circle the head and the face. We didn't remember this for Pictionary.
Yeah,
the
but the
first one-
keys of this is what's written on his schmuck or
The first one
mock or whatever
says-
it is called.
So
Now I am going to smoke one of them. What? Of them-
General Whaler
Whaler
Cafe Noir cigars.
yes, and the bird. He's
Ain't
in front
that
of
a
bird.
tube rose? Well, say. Gee, I can't even read.
Gee,
that.
what's the matter? I feel terrible. Worse. And then he starts grabbing his chest, and everything's swirling.
Now he's in bed sick.
And then the cigar's looking at him.
And then he's writing a letter. What's that
right.
letter say?
Well, you
I
just-
can't make out that.
See if you can blow
This
that
is
up.
fascinating. What year is this that they wrote
It's
this?
the late
1890s.
1800s.
Late 1800s.
All right,
Bravo,
so
man.
It
That's
says
awesome.
tobacco. Oh, you
I
Yuba
can't.
steamer,
Mysterious weed.
weed. I would not others warning deed fun now. Oh, death for thee. I time come quick and quit me. I am thine, Mickey.
Wow.
That
All right,
is-
so that was a public service announcement.
Oh, I thought that was just
Basically
broken
I
saying,
was saying,
don't
yeah.
smoke this shit. Cigars are bad for you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Look at
that'll
that.
make you sick. Don't inhale.
Gee, what's the matter? I feel terrible. Worse.
Even the parrot. You better look out for them Cuban cigars. Even back then.
You better look.
Then they were talking
I feel like
about
I feel like
Cuban
we're saying this in the
Yeah.
wrong accent.
God.
You better
What?
you better look out for them Cuban cigars. Now I'm gonna
then he says
smoke
it's-
one of them General Weller Cafe Noir cigars. I feel
Yeah,
like
I've
It
never
this
says,
is
heard
more
and then he
accurate.
says, the parrot says it's frightful, and then he says, there,
ah,
it's
there it's a perfect Maldemar.
All right, so
Perfecto.
the comic strips have served all
Insane.
sorts of purposes, and this was a nice daily post here for service announcement.
Damn.
look how the
Alright, so-
parrot look how the parrot becomes the cigar.
No,
Well,
the
I mean,
parrot.
they have a lot of
look, no, they
see
run
that?
away.
a lot of
Yeah, but
service
the
announcements and the way to treat your kids.
Oh, I
and
got you. Oh, he's
what's a
on
bad
the
kid and-
stand. Yeah, I got
Dennis the Menace was
He calls for
a
help.
perfect one.
you. Uh-huh.
Dennis the Menace was kind of like he brought up. I remember one of his comics things. He said, "Hey, mom, quick, name the name the car and I'll sing the commercial. You know, it was one of the classics. You know, because every car had its own commercial back then. Every
Right.
place you went to had its own commercial.
Right. That's fascinating. I don't think we've ever talked about comic strips, and we certainly have never talked about the history of comic strips.
Well, you can't get away with saying certain things nowadays. I mean, hell, you can look at Joe Rogan, for example. You know,
Right.
he was interviewing someone. He had a couple shows where he was interviewing someone. It wasn't even him saying it. You know, he's interviewing somebody, and they're giving their perspective on.
He's just asking
Robert Malone,
questions.
Dr. Robert Malone.
Yeah, he's just asking questions. That's all it is.
So, what was the context of the montage of him saying the N word?
All it was.
Why would he be saying the
was
N
the-
word in his podcast?
Well, I mean, we can pull it up where he says it, but he's talking about the word.
Right, like
You know,
the impact of the word or
he-
the
he's just-
appropriateness of the word
For
or-
whatever he was, every time in that recording, there's been a reason for him to say it. He's not being belligerent. saying
he's
it
not using it in
anytime.
a derogatory term
and
or
even
insulting anyone.
when he was, like you had mentioned earlier, you were like, even when he was bringing it up, he was like, well, no, I listened to it myself and I was kind of disgusted and
right,
taken
it
back
sounds,
from
it
what
sounds
I
awful.
said.
Right, yeah.
He says, but the reality of it is you know, this is 12 years of my podcast,
Right,
Right.
and you guys are pulling up shit that's just ridiculous.
right.
You know?
Each one of them has context.
And what this
Yeah.
is this reeks of somebody trying to cancel. They couldn't cancel him because of the podcast of the COVID doctors. That failed.
That failed.
This is how, so they go,
Misin-
okay.
Vaccine misinformation.
Right. So, okay, that failed. Let's go dig up this. Let's make this compilation of all these
It's
N
not going
bombs
to work.
and
They're
put
gonna
that
try to-
out.
They're going to try to beat him up in any way they can.
It's
kinda
not
screw
gonna
And
work.
that's gonna fail as well.
Yeah.
And then they're
Rumble
gonna go.
has already come out and offered him $100 million contract.
Yeah, they have.
Is it Rumble or Getter?
It's Rumble.
$100 million.
That's
Yep.
how much Spotify's paying them.
It's how much Spotify's paying them, and Spotify's collapsing. And you know what? And here's the deal: Spotify's shitting their pants right now because they're overextended, and their stock is in the toilet, and their stock has been dying for 6 months. So this is actually their stock. I don't know how long Spotify's been around, but if you were to go back to 2019, the stock right now is about the same as it was in 2019.
Oh, no.
So but it's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
So it went up and it jumped up 2020, 21, and then all of a sudden it dropped back down to where it was in 2019. So is that a bad thing? Well, it's not good, but maybe during those 2 years, you know, life was good. Oh, that's right. That was with Trump.
yeah.
And that was with Joe Rogan.
That was Joe Rogan. They have
Before
a
Joe
lot of
Rogan,
podcasts on
before
there.
Joe Rogan was a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But I mean, the demise of Spotify, I mean, just specifically from the last 6 months has dropped down because
I also
they were going up and down, and this is the tail end of it.
Well, I also think that Spotify is getting a bad rap because a lot of the artists are pushing back, saying, "I get paid $1 a year when you play my music." The artists of today are not getting. Spotify is a lot bigger than podcasts.
Right.
Podcasts are a subsection of what Spotify really is.
No. I heard that
I heard it's
podcasts
the opposite.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, podcasts dominate the revenue for for
Really?
Spotify.
Wow,
Yes.
I was not aware. But the musicians themselves do not make any money off of Spotify.
Right.
Well,
That's why they
then-
hate Spotify.
Then
But that's why they can
go-
say stupid shit like, "Oh, we're going to boycott. We're going to remove our music," because they're not getting shit
They're not
And
getting
anyway.
that's
shit
the whole
anyway.
thing was so Neil Young.
Like Neil Young.
if I could draw your attention to Neil Young, and let's talk about Neil Young and Neil Young's music.
I
So
think
first
that
of all,
failed.
he sold his music. All right, and they did a little research, and I don't know if I'm connecting the dots or if I'm making this up. I'm not making it up. It was definitely out there for people to read. But Neil Young, he sold his music to one of those called Black Gem. Black Gem is the name of the company.
Like Black Gem Record
Black Gem
Productions
Records.
or
I don't know.
something. Or,
It's actually not. I'm full. It's Black Gem is. It's just the name of the company, and Black Gem, the CEO or one of the main head guys,
okay.
was also had the same job at Pfizer.
Oh God.
So I'm not saying they're related. I'm just saying you have this guy with a very prestigious job at Pfizer,
Oh yeah.
and now he's in Black Gem. They merged somehow,
Yep.
and now he sold his music to Black Gem.
Right.
So it's just like, do you think that guy had some influence?
Of course.
So and he sold his music, so he doesn't really, what are you going to say? Pull my music? It's not your music.
Yeah, he doesn't really
It's
have
not
a
yours.
say. But he kind of does because they did pull it.
Right.
Well, I mean,
They
yeah,
did pull
he
it.
They did pull it, but so what, man?
That's what I mean.
It's a blip on the radar.
Who
It's
the
so
fuck listens to
rhetorical.
Neil
Guys,
Young anymore?
We cannot.
I turn him whenever I hear it on the radio. I can't
Keep
stand Neil
on
Young.
rocking the free world.
No, that song's terrible.
Yeah, it is
I'm
terrible.
sorry. His music is terrible.
It was the no. Well, actually, I would have thought it was the most irrelevant pulling of music until I heard Joni Mitchell.
Get it? Get it?
Right.
When Joni
Irrelevant.
Mitchell said she was going to pull her music, I was like, that just topped irrelevance
Right.
compared to Neil Young.
And it's funny because you see the correlation where you're pulling your anti-government song to support the government, basically.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So-
You absolutely are.
You're a huge anti-government singer. All your songs are big anti-government.
And look what's happening.
Yeah, they've kind of changed their tune.
Guys, we cannot possibly overstate the influence of Big Pharma.
Oh, it's tremendous.
We cannot possibly overstate it. And I can tell you more articles that I read in the last couple of weeks about the studies. So, how they always say, there's a study that just came out that says this is that and this is that, right? So they went through 5 different studies where they analyzed in detail. These are scientists that are like, dug into the abstracts. And the data that they're presenting doesn't even support their argument. It actually supports the opposite.
They just release this stuff to think, well, no one's going to look at this.
So here's the thing. So they know how hard it is. Scientists know how hard it is to get published and to get published in reputable magazines. Those magazines are funded by Big Pharma. So they're not going to allow you to publish any study with any conclusion that is contradictory, right, to what the narrative is that is supported by Big Pharma.
So
it
you're not
was a
going to have
very-
ivermectin. You're not going to have hydrochloroquine. You're not going
Right.
to have any of these drugs that actually work.
Yes. So here's what's
Right.
interesting. So they're writing these articles and they're saying these things and drawing a conclusion, but if you look into the data actually supports the exact opposite. So this guy that was like analyzing all of these said there's one of 3 things that are going on here. One is they're completely incompetent. They just don't even understand their own data, which is incredibly unlikely,
Yeah.
right? The second one is, God, I wish I could remember the second argument. The second argument was, I don't remember the second one, but the third one was they know exactly what they're doing and they're managing to get published anyway because no one ever reads this shit. No one reads it, except what they're saying is for the people that do, meaning the rest of the scientific community and the medical community, they're saying, read the data. We're basically a whistleblower. Like we're screaming, this is like, we're publishing and read it because it's not true. You follow me here?
So
They're like whistleblowers of Big Pharma.
but
Very
the report
great
says,
article that I read.
The report basically is biased. It says it does work, but the data doesn't data doesn't support.
Right.
But they still say it works. It's sort of like what Jeff was saying earlier, where it's not a 99.8% failure. It's a 0.2 success.
No. In this, it's even more blatant. Like the data doesn't even support their argument.
Wow. That's
Like
significant.
at all. Like at all. It's the opposite. Like if they were to say it's a 40% of America has been saved, in the article, it would say 40% of America has died needlessly. That's how dramatic the data doesn't support what the abstract says.
Well, send that article over to me.
I will.
I'd like
I
to
will.
read it.
It's fascinating. I mean, it's a really long read. That's the thing. Some of these sources I'm getting, they're very detailed because they really, really care, right? It's actually
Right.
the Children's Health Network. And so what these people do is they're generally against vaccines in general, but it's more than that. They're against pesticides on crops.
Yeah.
They're against, energy sources that aren't healthy for the environment, like nuclear power, which, I'm like, well, if we did it
So
right.
you read liberal stuff? Is what
No,
you're-
it actually isn't at all. So they very much supported the frontline doctors. Frontline, remember the guys that stood on the steps of the Capitol in their white coats, and they were like saying all these things very early in the process,
Mm-mm.
and they were completely shunned.
I don't remember.
Oh no, you don't? Okay, well yeah,
No.
well
that's
anyway,
proven.
I
don't
will
remember.
send
There
it
you
to
go.
you guys.
Yeah, send it to me. I'll read it.
Very fascinating.
One of the things that because just triggered my memory is, and it's a TV show, but I think the argument, and I sent
Logan's
it.
Run.
I was going to say Soylent Green, but yeah.
Ooh, that's
close.
Buck Rogers.
Were you gonna say Soylent Green?
No,
Soylent
I was
Green.
not. I wasn't going to say Logan's Run either.
God, what was
no,
how'd the theme
Okay,
of
hold-
Logan's Run go?
I don't remember. Sorry, I totally hijacked.
No,
your
what I
thought.
was going to say is I sent you guys a link because it was a TikTok, and my friend sent it to me. It was that scene in Yellowstone where the environmentalist vegan
Yes.
was sitting there and saying, "You kill thousands of cows every day or whatever it was,"
Right.
and he's like, "Do you plow the field for the quinoa or sorghum or whatever the hell you eat?"
Yes.
Yeah, they kill everything.
Yeah, so when you do that, you kill everything:
Every
the
mole.
snake, the bird, the vole, the mole.
Oh, it was
Everything.
expertly like delivered.
Yeah.
Too by Kevin Costner.
Right, and he's like, so you kill everything, but it's the way he phrased it was, when does it count? Does the animal cute enough for it to count for you to kill it?
Right. For you to eat.
For you to eat?
For you to eat.
Yeah. And she
Yes.
just stared at him.
Yeah.
It was an excellent argument. I'm
Yeah,
just like, I'd never thought of
absolutely.
that. I'm just like,
I haven't even thought of that.
how would the vegans argue against that? Because some vegans, it's not vegetarians, it's the vegans, the militant vegans who are anti-animal.
Right.
You can't eat animal because you're killing them. Well, okay. The food you eat does the same thing. It's just they're different animals that you're killing
Correct.
to get
Like,
there.
how do you think you got that?
Yeah. So all
You're
the
eating
fields
so much
that-
carrots. There's none left for the
well,
rabbits.
I only eat the carrots that don't kill this. Well, how do you know this?
Right.
Unless you grow them yourself.
Yeah.
You know what?
Right.
I chalk that up to just general ignorance and naivety.
It kind of goes back to
They're just naive. I mean, and
Yeah,
I don't
I'd say
fault them
naive.
for that. Right? Their ideology.
they just don't think
They're
that deep.
idealist, right? The
they
ideologues.
think they're doing the right thing.
It's
They
hard
wanna do the right thing, but they
to
don't
wrap your head around it when you're
understand.
picking the shit up at the supermarket.
Yeah.
They don't think about it.
understand how it really works.
Well, it's just like the electric car owners who are doing it to save the environment.
Correct.
You're really not saving the environment
Right.
because of the lithium mines. Have you seen those things? And where do you think your electricity comes from?
The people who are critical of energy, critical of fossil fuels,
Correct.
so naive, so ignorant about how the world really works. If you had removed fossil fuels from this planet, it would set civilization in general and progress and reduction of poverty, and
We would all be in poverty.
we would still be in the freaking Stone Age.
Yeah, we would.
Without fossil fuels?
Yes.
Yeah. I agree with
100%.
that. I agree with
Factory
that.
stop.
It
Everything stops.
It advanced human society in good ways and bad ways, like astronomically. Right?
We would still be using probably actually. Would
All the
we be using
medicine,
swords still.
all the health
probably not.
Yeah,
investments,
you go-
all the
probably can't.
it's
advancements
amazing.
would
Probably
go
like
away.
long
Yeah.
muskets still.
I mean, you're
You-
talking about pharma too, and how big pharma has control in on the medicines. And I was thinking, there are so many doctors that get called a quack
Right.
or just get shamed
Mhm.
by their community simply because they found an alternative medicine that works.
Correct.
And they're yeah, no, it doesn't work. Yeah, shame. And then all of a sudden, their shit gets buried, and then they don't know how to make. What was that medicine he was talking about? We don't know. We just this stupid idiot. He
Big
doesn't know.
pharma.
Yeah, big pharma. Well, so they have they've got something that actually works, and I don't know why they don't talk more about it. And that is using sound waves to kill a specific frequency. So they know, if they do know the, like for COVID, for example, if they know the frequency to COVID, they just expose you to that frequency and it will kill it. You know, they've got cancer.
There
the same
has to be
thing.
repercussions to that.
No, they're saying that if you, and these are tests that were run in Germany where they used a sonic
World War II.
No,
somewhere around there.
I knew
They
you
had,
going there. No, these
They
are
had
not
some sort of
experiments.
sonic system
That was
where they were
weird
dialing into
Crack
certain
owl.
types of cancer, and you know, it's just like if you raise it up a frequency decibel or whatever,
Well, wasn't
it would like fry you.
wasn't
And
there
if you
a
lower it, it will
scientist-
fry you. But if you get it right in there and like to get it down to the 1,000th, it starts to, you can start analyzing how things work.
Wasn't there a scientist that studied the like ever living fuck out of that, but then he got like shunned and like shit on?
Well,
and
that's
then
what I'm
and now
referring to.
no one knows who the
That's
fuck he
big,
is.
big
no,
pharma.
he has his literature published.
You know what?
And it's out there.
Is
You
that-
just
is that
have
what
to
you're
do
getting this
You have
from?
to do the study for it. What?
I've heard that guy. Is that what you're getting this from?
This is from the 1950s.
But
and
yeah,
60s.
but there's like a scientist that like proved that like that's
he was
correct.
he was a doctor.
And then like
and-
everyone
and he
said
was
like
killing
that's not.
cancer with sound waves. Is
You shouldn't.
basically long story short.
And it's like
And they
it was
shunned him.
I
They
don't
called him
doubt
a
it.
quack. They threw him out of the doctorship. I don't know what they do.
but
what they're
the
called.
but the
Out
end,
of the
in the end of the
doctorship.
story, the shit he did, it worked, and it
Right.
it didn't have any like side effects
And
from
you know
what
what?
I
It's
know of.
not any different than
I don't know his name.
things that can't be patented, right? All sorts of natural herbs, all sorts of natural supplements, vitamin D, right? I mean, all sorts of dietary supplements that cannot be patented
All right, so here we go.
are
Where do
are
morals-
It says
demonized
ultrasound
and,
waves.
and ridiculed
These
because big
ultrasound
pharma cannot profit from it.
It says these ultrasound waves with a frequency is higher than what humans can hear. It was used as a cancer treatment. The high intensity bursts of the ultrasound can easily heat up the tissues. It will kill the cancer cells and only the cancer cells, and not even affect the regular cells.
Right.
Where
So why do you think big pharma would be threatened by
Where
that?
does moral
the cells,
finally just
medicine, of
override
course,
Medicine.
right?
Very
You know,
expensive medicine.
if you've got if I've got a sickness and whatever, we'll just call it 5A.
Are you
whatever,
breaking it
just
down
make
with
it
the
up.
sickness?
It's all right. Well, 5A. Let me see here. That's frequency 0.052345. Okay, go ahead and step in that box over there, and bzzz, okay, that whatever you had is gone.
yeah,
It's gone. It's killed.
Yeah, that's not good because we could charge you $500 a pill
Yeah.
Where
big
does
pharma-
And this is
For the rest
basically-
of your life.
for the
Yeah.
rest of your life.
where does moral override greed?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Ever.
It doesn't.
Greed
I don't
completely
understand that.
crushes morality.
I don't understand that.
Well, isn't
That's
there
human nature.
isn't there a CEO of a
just don't
pharma
understand it.
company who just got thrown in prison because he got busted for just way overcharging for medicine,
Doesn't surprise me.
and he's in jail now,
He should be.
and there is no reason. I can't. I'll have to research that. That was very vague.
And there's also, do you guys know about the 432 hertz and the 528 hertz?
I know about 527 and 444, but not the two that you just mentioned.
So they it's for example,
Yes. Are you gonna zap me with shit and try to
no,
like?
it's kind of hard to explain because I don't know enough about it. But what I'm getting at is that it basically it changes the definition of, I'm going to make this up, of like what E flat is, center E flat.
Okay.
And they have a certain frequency. It says, all right, guys, we have a full spectrum of sound. We have to, we have what's in the books here, but we need to determine where, if we have C center, where is C center? What frequency are we going to start at C center?
Okay.
And
Is
so,
this still in the in the context of medical health?
yes, sort
Okay,
of, sort
okay.
of. So
Sorry, I'm just
so
asking.
what they said is that, all right, well, C, like if you go to the piano and you hit C,
Yeah.
It's like 432, whatever. And I'm making that up. I'm just making that up. So they're saying, all right, well, this specific note is going to be this specific frequency.
Yes.
And so, but what that did is it changed everything.
Okay.
So because when they ended up using like the 528 hertz version of the spectrum, they were finding that specific hertz of that was doing things.
Right.
Like the guy that was making water boil.
Right.
You know,
With electromagnetic waves.
with ultrasound waves, making water boil.
Right.
With sound.
That could be an energy.
Well, it could also be a weapon, and we've seen some videos of that where it can be a defense thing, where there's certain frequencies that will actually kill you.
It'll make you nauseated.
It'll make you shit, lose your bowels.
Yeah.
Well,
Just-
isn't that the Havana syndrome? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know, but there's been studies. But the thing is, in order to make it the amplitude big enough, it's not practical. But there's frequencies that you could shoot at like people that will kill them.
Oh man,
Seven hertz.
Not very funny show for the second half, but you know what? It was interesting.
It was educational.
It was educational, and this was like a 3-week,
Hiatus.
Yeah, we
Lord.
were more all over the place today than we were typically. I
Well,
think.
because we're trying to cram in all this emotion and passion and knowledge. And
frustration.
And
We've got a lot of frustration.
frustration.
We're very
Really?
frustrated with life, dude. I filled up my car today.
Yeah.
$70.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I'm not kidding. My expedition, I filled it up, and I usually don't even look. I was like, Shelley, we just spent $76 filling up this car.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I blame
Thanks.
Biden. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
All right. Well, this dude's like us. It's February 8th. We've got a week before the this weekend.
The great Super
Valentine's.
Bowl of the Great Bengals.
Super Bowl. Go Bengals.
Go Bengals. My
right.
name's Brandon.
I'm not Brandon. I'm Sean.
I'm not Brandon.
You guys are supposed
I'm
to say,
Jeff.
let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
I'm Paul.
You
Let's go,
suck.
Paul.
You're a dick.
All right. See you next time.
All right. Like.
See ya.